Well, it was a good victory for us tonight. I thought the most important aspect of the most important turning point of the game was the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second half when we were down 28-20, and we had to do something. Otherwise, I thought we were going to be too deep a hole. And we hit some big shots, none bigger than Nigel's half court or whatever heave that got us in there. So it was guys played pretty good D. We didn't hit shots. 22 of 52 is 42%. We got to shoot better than that at home, particularly. Or if we want to win this thing, we got to shoot better than that. Not much better. If we'd have shot 47, 48, I'd say we're good. But our defense was good, holding them to 38%, and we out rebounded them by 5, and they're a pretty good rebounding team, number one offensive rebounding team in the league. So. But anyway, Nigel had a double-double. That was huge. Trey had 8 rebounds, almost a double-double. Winning this game without Peacock, how many minutes? Somebody help me, I don't know. Maybe the last 6 or 7 minutes was big. Quentin Scott did a good job in there while he was in there. Anyway, really not a lot of big-time scores on the board today, but. So I'm going to chalk a lot of this up to our defense tonight. And, of course, Nigel had a great overall performance, big game. Yeah, you can't explain those things, why they hit him. You just you implore the guys to pick it up, and understand where you are. And, sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. I mean, I can't tell you, I said something to him or I said something to him. I said something to all of them, and they got it going. Simple as that. They turned it on, and I don't know, I know one thing. I thought the crowd helped us, but it also wowed them when they walked out there. I mean, that's the first, other than the Air Force game, that's the first good crowd we've had. And, of course, our students a lot of them are in town, and that makes a difference. But, I just think that this team is playing some of the best basketball in the Division I era. I know that they had some great teams during NAIA years, but in the Division I era, this is about as good as anybody's been playing since Jeff Foster days, Dante Mathis days. So I'm hoping people say, yeah, maybe it's worth a look, and start coming out. I think they have fun when they're here, So Nigel, well, that's why he's an all-conference player, and at very least, he'll be overseas doing well. He's just a pretty tough kid. He's a competitive player, and he loves the game. He really does. He puts so much time in the gym, and his IQ, his basketball IQ is great. He's a good student. I think he was something like number 6 in his class at a 5A high school. So he's a smart young man who's committed to himself to basketball, dedicated to the game. He's got a lot of common sense, and he's got a great basketball IQ. He picks up things quick, and he figures it out quite often on his own without you having to tell him something. Question, part of our problem last year was a lack of leadership. You had either guys brand new to the program, or Nigel wanted to be a leader, but he's a sophomore. So they're a year older. They know me. They know the system. Last year I might raise my voice at them to get their attention, and they may think I'm yelling at them, and it bothers them. This year it doesn't bother them. And their maturity has emboldened their leadership. And you're right. Without their leadership, you can add Peacock to that. Those three, Peacock and Nigel are captains, and Jalen and Trey were right there behind them.